Hey there, pen fans. Brian Goulet here of GouletPens.com. But this is a new pen. This is the Studio. This one is cool. This is called Orion. Orion, you may know, is the constellation up in the northern celestial hemisphere. He's the hunter with the belt and all that. I think it's probably one of the first constellations. I think it was the first constellation that I ever knew about. Why is it named Orion, being this color? Well, I theorize that if you take all of the colors that you'll see up there in the sky, the whites and blues and reds and greens and purples, and you mix all of those together, you'll probably get something that'll look like the color of this pen. I don't really know why they named it Orion, but it's a cool constellation and it's a cool color pen. They may not be related at all, but either way, let's talk about it. I'm going to show you the other pens that this pen compares to color-wise, and then I'm going to give you some ink recommendations as well. So stick around for that. Should be a pretty good video. Now, the Studio as a pen model can be somewhat polarizing, right? Especially it's got that propeller clip. I think it looks pretty classy. It's very sleek overall as a pen, kind of a minimalist design. But the propeller clip, some people love it, some people hate it. It's up to you. You decide. You pretty much know when you look at it how you're going to feel about it. And then it's got the grip too. The grip is that chrome grip. It's going to be somewhat slick. It's got a little bit of a taper to it. Some people it slips a little bit. Other people absolutely love it because it can feel a little cool to the touch. I don't know. It's different than feeling plastic. So either way, I think it's an interesting pen. I have a lot of Studios. I use them. I think they're great. It's got the stainless steel LAMY nib on it. Sometimes they do the 14 karat nibs on them, which are great, but it more than doubles the price. So they got the stainless steel on this one. So you get to keep that price nice and low for you. It's nice because you can swap these nibs in between different pens. So anything except the LAMY 2000. So I've got a video showing how to do that using tape. It's pretty easy to do. You can use a Goulet grip. There's lots of different ways to swap these LAMY nibs, but it's nice because they're doing an extra fine, medium, and broad on this one. They don't always do the broads on the special editions. So I'm glad to see them include that on this one. And then if you want to get a stub nib, you're gonna have to get that extra, but they do sell them separately. They being we at GouletPens.com, but LAMY in general offers it. So you can get one of those. You can swap it on this if you want. Either way, you're getting a pretty decent writing nib on this pen. Pen's nice. It's a snap cap. You snap to post on the back as well. It's nice and long, so you don't have to post it, but if you want to, you can. It's nice and comfortable either way. It feels really good in the hand. I've, larger than most hands probably, and I think this pen is very comfortable. It's got a little bit of weight to it. Not so much that it tires your hand out, but makes you remember that you have a pen in your hand, right? You're not gonna forget that it's there. Okay, so that pretty much covers what the Studio is. Let's talk about the body color and some of the other things that it looks like. So this is the Orion on top and the Studio Dark Brown. This was a 2022 special edition, which is more of a shiny lacquered instead of this anodized matte finish. And it's got a bit more sparkle to it. It's definitely more of a true brown, almost leaning black. So you can see here, it's got a lighter color to it, a bit more of the purple than instead of the straight up brown. But overall the pen is very similar, but yeah, so that color would be helpful. We are time traveling here. This is the Orion on top and the Violet special edition. This is from 2009. This was the first Studio I actually ever had because they were just on their way out as we started Goulet pens, and we picked up LAMY. So I have this one. This one had a gold nib on it, but you can definitely see there it's more of a purple color. So a bit more, what do you call it, plum? Well, I guess this is more plum. I don't know. I don't know how to describe these colors, but you can see them with your eyes right there. Definitely more of a brown tone than the Violet was. And then now I'm really flexing here because I've got the Orion next to the Ruben Black from 2008. Even further. We're going back almost 20 years, y'all. This is crazy. But this is definitely more of a true brown. Very similar to like the Coffee All-Star, if you remember that from a while ago. Straight up brown. So you can see a lot more of that purple coming through on the Orion. And then here we go. Let's show all three of them next to each other here. So you can see there, it is a really nice balance in between the more kind of violet color, there's a brown, and it's kind of a nice little marriage between the two. But either way, you can't get these pens. They haven't been around in forever. So if you want anything in this color range, this is the thing that's gonna be available for you. Here's the Orion next to the 2025 regular edition Safari Scarlet. A lot of people say, that's not really scarlet. Isn't that supposed to be more like a bright red? Well, I don't know. LAMY's just doing their own thing with these colors, but either way, Orion is not that far off from Scarlet, and especially with the matte finish there. but it definitely does lean a little more brown than this somewhat more saturated kind of purpley color on the Scarlet. And then if you had last year's special edition Safari, this was the Violet Blackberry. Definitely more purpley than this brown tone of the Orion. So I thought it would, they're not super close in color, but just in case you had that pen, you were familiar with it, you could get a sense of what it looked like next to this one. And the last pen to show you here, this is the Orion next to the LAMY Lux, or LX, however you want to pronounce it, in Maroon. So this is more of a true brown color. You can see more of that purple coming out there on the Orion. So those are all the pens that it looks like. Hopefully that's helpful to see all those different colors, especially because, this is one that I don't know how like purple or brown is going to show up on video. So you'll just have to kind of go with me on what I'm seeing in real life. That's why I like doing these comparisons. So, once you get this pen in your hand, you're probably going to want to know what ink is going to match up nicely to it. So I've got a whole bunch of them. So I'll just talk about them right now. LAMY Dark Lilac. So they brought this ink back from the grave in 2024. It's been a very, very popular color. It's a deep purple color, which, this pen is leans a little bit more brown, but it's got that heavy sheen on Dark Lilac, which brings in a little bit more of that brown tone. So depending on which nib size you use, you may see more of that, more of the purple. I don't know, it kind of walks that line in between, but it's the closest LAMY color that I have that will match up to this pen. LAMY Crystal Topaz. So this one's more of a straight up brown, but it's a nice saturated color. I think if you want to bring out more of the brown tones, this would be a contender, something you should consider. Noodler's Black Swan and Australian Roses. Now this one is more of a burgundy, not as much brown to it, but it leans a little heavier on the black, but it's water resistant, which is kind of nice. And it's just a really nice looking color, been very popular for years. So check that one out. Noodler's American Aristocracy. Now I normally don't recommend this ink for pretty much any color matching because it is specifically designed to be sort of different colors. You're playing a little bit of roulette here. You don't know what color you're gonna get. But seeing as how the roulette color range you're gonna get with this ink is gonna go from, kind of dusty purples to more of a brown, like a rusty brown. I don't know, all of those kind of are in the range of this color pen. So I think that that's, something that you could, if you want to mix it up a little bit, you could try this one out. Noodler's Nightshade. This one is more of a dark purple. Not too much crazy going on with this one like the other Noodler's inks. It's just a dark purple that could look nice. Dietermentis Johann Sebastian Bach. This, I think, is a pretty close match for this pen. Again, it's got that brown and kind of purple tone to it. It's just an all-around good performing ink. Platinum Classic Lavender Black. Now this is an interesting one because it is iron gall. So it'll go down more purple and it'll darken up as it gets exposed to more air because it's got those iron sulfides in it that will darken up over time. That's kind of how iron gall works. It's a waterproof ink, so that's pretty cool. But it's a decent match for this pen, so maybe check it out. Sailor Urameku Hanagokoro. This is going to be a little more on the dusty side, not quite pastel, but it's dusty. It's dusty, but it's a dusty, kind of purpley brown. I think it's a great match for this pen if you didn't want something as deep or saturated in color as some of these other inks I've recommended. Sailor Urameku Kokoro Guma. Not that different from Hanagokoro. This is another one that's probably leaning a little bit more brown, but is going to be a nice color to match the pen as well. Diamine Masquerade. So this was part of their Ink Vent series, and this is a nice color that pretty well matches the pen, but it's got a little bit of shimmer in there, a little bit of gold shimmer, so it'll add just a little bit of pizzazz to it. Has a little more of that glimmer to it, sort of like the matte finish does on this pen. So it's a nice one, and the bottle looks really cool too. Last but not least, Dietermentis Pearlescent Mocha Copper. Again, I'm kind of surprised at how many inks actually match this color pen pretty well. This is another good one. This is another pearlescent one, not unlike the Diamine, but this one has copper pearlescence to it. So I don't know. There's not a lot of copper in this pen, but it's a really cool ink and one worth checking out. So it'll give you a little different flair if you didn't want something that was such a deadlock match for the color as these other inks. Now with the Studio here, you can use the proprietary ink cartridges. There's one blue one that's included with the pen. You can get others too, but there's not going to be nearly as many colors available in LAMY's line that would match this pen. But they do include a converter. It's the Z27. So any of the ink bottles that I just mentioned, the converter is going to be what you want for that one. Unlike the Safaris and All-Stars, which don't come with it, the Studio does. So that's kind of nice. You don't have to add it on. Now, the pen itself is an MSRP of $99. We're going to have it at Goulet Pens for $79.20. With a huge caveat here, it's 2025 with tariffs and all this stuff. We're still in the heat of all that. Prices could change. I don't know. But at least as of launch, this is what we're expecting. This is what it's been consistently for quite a while now. But, anyway, definitely check the website to see what the current price is. Now, as this video is releasing, it's a few days ahead of time from when the pen is actually doing its global launch. So we don't actually have it for sale yet. It goes in the global launch for Tuesday, September 9th, 2025. And we're going to have it on gouletpens.com. We'll have a link in the description. If you are seeing this video before then and you want to sign up for email notification, you can do that on the product page on our site, and we will let you know as soon as we have the pens available. It's a special edition, so there's no guarantees of how long LAMY is going to have it available, but it's not like it's going to sell out the day of. If you like this color, if you like this pen, go ahead and put it higher up on your wish list of pens, and you know where to get it if you do want it. Well, that's all I've got for you today, y'all. Thank you so much. Be sure to subscribe to YouTube if you have not already. Thank you so much for watching, and right on.